So hello and welcome back yet again. We are doing a WoW Wednesday, and I'll just do Katamari on other days because I happen to enjoy Katamari. So if you weren't aware, we are going to be visiting the wetlands today, but I thought I would start us off over here in the very exciting Twilight Highlands, which is where we were last time, and sort of give you a little heads up if you didn't already know, but I'm probably sure you did if you know anything about World of Warcraft. Before the Cataclysm, which was World of Warcraft's 4th expansion, these gates were closed, but with the coming of Deathwing and the great cataclysm that he brought, these gates were broken open, and now, if you are willing to risk death, you can take any character you want into the Twilight Highlands if you're willing to risk death the entire way, and get some of the high-level herbs and ore that are up there, which is what I have been doing with my peaceful monk. She is attempting to level to max level with just herbs, mining, and I think I'm going to pick up archaeology and the Dark Moon Fair whenever it comes. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get her to max level, but you know what? It's been a really fun journey. And I actually ran her all the way to Kurthaven just to see if I could. And I did, and I only died a few times. If you're interested in joining her adventures, I stream those every other Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And the alternate Fridays, what I do is I just stream The Sims. I'm doing the 100 Baby Challenge in that, so if you want to giggle, that is something I'm doing. But this week, we are going to go through the wetlands. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what to do in the wetlands because there really aren't very many secrets and there really aren't very many houses, which are two of my favorite things. There are so many fun quests in this zone, but there aren't really as many like secret things that I happen to personally know about. I'll show you the few that I do know about. A lot of people probably already know about them, and unfortunately, due to my own stupidity, this is my second time recording this video, so I won't be able to do exactly what I did in the first one because I already got the one secret item, but I can show you where to get it. And that is the Razormaw Hatchling, which is a battle pet, and I happen to absolutely adore battle pets. And if you haven't already got one, or if you have already got one, because I already had one, but the nest was still lootable for me. So this is 100% drop rate. Also, I don't know anything about this in particular, but this seems to be a grave site. And I'm very curious now if anyone knows anything about this. Drop it in the comments down below, because that's a new one on me that I had never noticed before, and I've flown around in this area a lot. I also, when I went in to get my Razormaw Hatchling, I managed to get lost in this cave. Let's see if I get lost again going in to show you where to get your Razormaw Hatchling. We'll see. But to get your Razormaw Hatchling, you just come up to Raptor Ridge and go right into this cave. Now you're going to want to take the fork that goes to the left and run all the way to the back. Depending on your level, you might be fighting all of these lovely Razormaw raptors. Or if you're a high enough level, you can run past most of them. Usually at least one or two will aggro on, but they're so far below it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm sure this one's going to aggro onto me. Maybe not. Anyway, you run all the way up here, and usually there will be, when you come here, like I said, unfortunately, since I've already done this once, it's not here now. But there will be a Razor Maw Matriarch, which is just a slightly bigger version of these dinosaurs. And you will see her nest. All you have to do is click on the nest, and you will get, let me pull him out here, you will get this adorable little Razor Maw hatchling. He's very cute. He is pretty little. I mean, he is a hatchling after all. And he doesn't really do anything exciting. Some of the battle pets have special animations and stuff. He's just kind of your run-of-the-mill battle pet. But he's utterly worth it. And he's a pretty solid little battler. He's not the best in my stable of battlers, but he's a pretty good beast type. And you might as well go pick him up because he's absolutely free. I mean, all you have to do is go and loot the nest. So I think I'm not going to get lost this time. Everybody give a cheer, because I am terrible about getting lost in caves in World of Warcraft. It's almost my special talent at this point. I always manage to get turned around, but this time I didn't, so I am going to be very proud of myself. Alright. Sorry, little dude, you cannot get on top of my kitty, but you can go back in my backpack. Alright, we're going to leave Raptor Ridge and kind of just head and do a big ol' circle. Now, this is Dire Forge Hill. It is home to a lot of different elementals, and it's a questing zone that you will be questing in if you are doing the quests in this quest hub right here of the Green Wardens Grove. One of the interesting things I think about Green Wardens Grove is if you are an Alliance player playing either human or dwarf, one of the ones that are centered on the Eastern Kingdoms, this is probably going to be possibly your first time really getting a look at Night Elf architecture. As you can see, they really love their towers. And when we head over to Kalmandor, which is the other continent, you'll see a lot of this. And you'll see a lot of Night Elf housing, which I happen to really like. I think it's quite elegant. Other than that, in this area, there's not a lot. There are, if you are into battle pets, some really, really cute ones that can be caught over here on this lake. They're little bog monsters. They're very cute. I can't remember if I actually think that they're worthwhile as far as battling, but just like Pokemon, I am infected with the gotta catch 'em all thing, so I think I have every wild battle pet for every expansion except for Shadowlands. I'm still missing 3. I will fix that very soon. So, alright, over here you have the Fandall Span, which, if you remember, has a dwarf underneath it, and secret rooms that I didn't know anything about, but you would have seen that in our Arathi Highlands video. And you also have this Dunmador, which has been taken over by the Twilight Converts. And you can help these guys over here try to take it back. This is also a spot where you will quite often get archaeology surveys. That is another one of the, I guess, casual side things that I love about this game. Also, up in the hills above Dunmador and Ironbeard's tomb, which is right down below us, is just a fun little thing if you've never been up to see it. It seems that the Horde crashed one of their Zeppelins into the hill. Don't know if there's a story behind that or if this is just another one of Blizzard's little flavor text or flavor things, but I think it's pretty cool. You can find a lot of just strange little things that are up in the hills, which is why I usually spend a lot of time flying around them. Now over here you have Ironbeard's tomb. Back in the day, there was a, I think, either weapon or piece of armor that people would farm these oozes for. It had a really low drop chance. I don't know if it is still a thing that you can get, but that was the most notable thing I found about Ironbeard's tomb and those oozes when I was doing a little bit of research. Also over in this area is this really cool little quest hub that I always do when I am going to make the wetlands one of my places that I would like to level, and that is the Swiftgear Station. Back in Classic, this was actually just a little farm. It was owned by, I do believe they are still down here, the Swiftgears, which was Donnie, and I think Wenna was his wife. I think these are the original Swiftgears, but after the Cataclysm, they decided to make it their mission. They gathered people together, and they are trying to make the wetlands habitable again. And so they're trying to beat back the wildlife and maybe start some farms. Wenna is pretty cool because she actually sells some different patterns and armor that are hard to get, that aren't just a regular thing that you can train for. She usually has the pattern for Azeroth silk gloves, the pattern for green leather armor, and the pattern for red whelp gloves. I think she also will have some blacksmithing and engineering recipes, but don't quote me on that. So we're going to leave the Swiftgear Station. Hopefully they will beat back the wetlands soon. One of the dangers here in the wetlands is there are hordes of murlocs all through the Sundown Marsh. And there's a fun little quest chain that you end up doing where you're fighting the orcs, and you're going to go out here and fight a ghost marine fleet, which is part of the Lost Fleet. There are sort of zombified sailors, and there are cursed marines. And, yeah, you have to try and give the marines peace. Doesn't always work. Now you've got another graveyard down here. If you get killed by all those cursed marines, this is where your spirit will end up. And then we come to Menethil Harbor, which used to be a very large outpost, but after the Cataclysm, it kind of got screwed up. As you can see, it is extremely flooded. They're doing the best they can, but things are a little soggy now. Now, I'm gonna plug another YouTuber, even though I don't think he has done any content in probably 10 or 11 years. But back in classic WoW days, there was a placeholder character. And now, and I think before, I think it was just a glitch basically that happened. But back in the day, you could take the boat over to Kelmendor, and you could also take the boat to Northrend, but back then you couldn't take the boat to Northrend, but there was a boat that would take you to the other continent, to Kelmendor. Would take you over to Theramore, and for some reason, I think it was in one of the patches, the boat stopped coming. So Blizzard put a placeholder character, and they never even gave him a name. They just put him on the dock, and his entire job was to just teleport you to Theramore. And then when they got the boats patched back in, he was gone. So this YouTuber, whose name is Cranius, his channel is Cranius Presents, and he did a lot of WoW music videos. And a lot of them he even did his own singing in. And I really love his voice. I really wish that he would come back and do more videos, but alas, I think he's moved on from the game. It's okay. He actually met his wife in World of Warcraft. She worked on a lot of the videos with him. So I'm going to try to link the video, The Lament of Captain Placeholder, which is all about Captain Placeholder and how much Cranius missed him. But yeah, that is one of those fun little factoids, I guess. It makes me happy. And I do really miss Cranius making his music. I'm sure he probably still makes music, just nothing that I've seen since. Now, another thing that you might not know, but you might, hard to say, is up above Menethil Harbor, there is a little dwarf settlement. Now, there's only, I think, one building that you can go into. The rest are just blank doors. You can't actually get inside. But there's these two brothers here. They've got a still. They've got a stable. They've got a few animals. They're doing pretty good. They're doing all right for themselves. Then you go a little bit further, and we've got another little farm with some cows. You got a nice little wheat field over here, a couple more dwarves, and another house that unfortunately you can't actually go inside. Blizzard, open up these houses. I'm so demanding. I really would love player housing, but still not holding my breath for it. But you know, if Blizzard was really nice, they would at least let us decorate these places. Also, up here, although these gates are closed, this does seem to be a gate that should go into Ironforge, and if we look through those doors, it even looks like it would go right through to Dunmoreau. Can't go through there, unfortunately. It would make a heck of a shortcut, though. Next week, when we go through Dunmoreau, I am going to see if I can find the other side of that gate, because I don't think I've ever tried to find that. Couple more little places up in here. You've got another uninterable house, and then the only actual house that you can go inside, which in my book makes it a good house, even if it doesn't have any furniture. Which is why I always say I really wish that Blizzard would just, you know, let us play pretend, give us some furniture. Anyway, so there's that fun little house. Couple more little sites. Now again, there's so much vast empty space in World of Warcraft. If you have a guild and you want to go have some secret meetings, look at these plains up here. They're beautiful. Then you can go right down here to Werners Excavation site. Why is that word so hard to say? There's a few quests in through here. They're a lot of fun, but more importantly, this is another normal archaeology site. It comes up quite often if you do archaeology as one of your professions, which I always do, because there are toys and mounts and all sorts of things that you can get through archaeology. And I happen to think it's worth it. Oh, yeah, and you can get experience points just by doing archaeology, so that's also something I find very worthwhile. All right, now the quest hub for Werners Excavation, wow, that word, is right here, and that is Werners Retreat. And I think they have a few quests that will also send you over here into this Angerfang encampment, and that is an orc encampment. Like I said, or maybe I said it in the video that I messed up on, there is no Horde flight points in this area. There are no Horde quest hubs in this area. And I think even if you are on a Horde player, these orcs are still hostile to you. But that's the closest you're going to get to orc or to Horde fighting. Well, I guess I think they're Angerfang orcs that are trying to kidnap all of the dragon whelps out here that the night elves will also have you combat and try to save the whelps. Another thing, I don't know if there's still a drop chance off these, but there is a very, 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 very rare battle pet. It's the black tabby cat, and it's a world drop. And I think I remember hearing that sometimes it can drop off those whelps, and I hope that that's true because I have spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours farming those stupid little dragons, hoping to get the black tabby, which I still don't have. Color me sad on that. Alright, only one more spot, and that is Slab Chisel Survey. But before we go over there, I'm going to take you over here to where Lochmadan broke. We're not going to Lochmadan next. We're going to go do Dunmorrow first. But I do love seeing this dam broken. It's one of those cool cinematics, too. I think in the cinematic for the Cataclysm, you actually see Deathwing breaking this dam. And it's pretty intense. But as you can see, the dam is now broken. Alright, the last questing hub for Alliance players is Slab Chisel Survey. And you do a lot of little quests for them. And if you're trying to just fast track your way through the wetlands, you can come through, do all the quests in this zone, and then they will mount you up on this very speedy goat and zip you all the way to Menethil Harbor. You can do the quest in Menethil Harbor and then pretty much be done with the wetlands, because you will pretty much level out of them. Well, you used to level out of them just in these two questing zones. Nowadays, with leveling the way it is, I don't think you're as likely to level out really, really fast, but maybe you are. I don't know. It's been a while since I don't speed level. I just level because it's fun. Alright, and we are going to end this video here at this beautiful, beautiful little private lake up in the wetlands. Now, if Blizzard were really good, they would have put a cute little house just right here. It looks like the perfect place for the dwarves to have a nice little fishing cottage. Unfortunately, nobody ever listens to me. Anyway, if you know anything that I missed in the wetlands, drop it in the comments down below. And if you're bored on Friday nights at 8 p.m. and you want to come and see if I can actually manage to get to level 60 without killing anything, then come on along. It's a fun ride. I think we've made it to level 25, so we're getting there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week when we go into Dunmorrow.